Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man tabi'ahum bi ihsani illa yaumidin amma ba'd. Mashurul Muslimin rahimakumullah, brothers and sisters. Let me start by asking you a question. How Islamic are Islamic countries? This is a very challenging question. And this is the same question was posed by scholars, two scholars actually, from George Washington University, namely Dr. Ashkari and Dr. Rahman. And they research about how Islamic countries, and the assumption behind the research questions is the Islamic countries or countries which declare themselves to be Islamic are supposed to be more Islamic than non-Muslim countries. And the research gathered the data from 208 countries in the world, both Islamic countries and non-Islamic countries. And the variables used to get the survey comprise the tenets or the principle of Islamic values, such as the government attention to the poor people, the government attention to develop the education quality, the government's attempt to improve the health system in society, and the equity before the law and equity in terms of economy. And the result is interesting, brothers and sisters. Those countries which are at the top rank are mostly non-Islamic countries. The first rank is New Zealand, and followed by some of European countries, while Indonesia is in the rank of 160. And I would like to mention some other countries. Bahrain came out number 64, Iran 163, Tunisia 83, Egypt 153, Libya 196, Syria 186, Yemen 198. The first Islamic country, in quotations, is New Zealand, and followed by some European countries. United States is at number 25. It is interesting finding of the research of these two scholars, American scholars. They are Muslims, actually, Dr. Ashkari and Dr. Rahman. But the important thing, brothers and sisters, this result of the research can be a reflection for all of us that we, Islamic society and Muslim countries, are not doing the Islamic practice comprehensively. On the one hand, we are boasting of our rituals, right? As well as the doing obligation to Allah. But at the same time, in terms of hablu minan nas, we lack of some activities focusing on the improvement of human quality and human life. Dear brothers and sisters, the interesting questions is how to overcome this vicious circle of the stagnance of the Muslim country. First, I think we have to redefine our being Muslims. That is being the or actualizing the Islamic values in a kafah way. Kafah, ya ayyuhalladhina amanu khulu fi silmi kafah wa la tatabi'u khutuwati syaitan. Kafah means that the Islamic values can actually be actualized, be manifested in every aspect of life. In the landscape of economy, in the landscape of politics, social, culture, legal, law, and so forth. But if we are going to be honest, so far we are just doing the dimension of Islam in terms of the Hablum Minallah, but lack of attentions in improving the Hablum Minannas. Hence, it is very important for us to redefine our being kafah. As Sheikh Yusuf Qaradawi maintained, for example, that the attribute of Islam, the Shumuliyah, actually embrace the very balance of Islamic principles. Say, for example, Hablum Minallah, Hablum Minan Nas. Say, for example, we do not only put the attention of strengthening our aqidah, but at the same time, we have to pay attention to the developing of akhlaq. So the akhlaq cannot be overlooked. And based on the research done by these two scholars that I mentioned before, the attention of the Muslim society in terms of improving the quality of human life, education, health, etc., is very little compared to non-Muslim countries. Dear brothers and sisters, and the second thing that we have to do is that we have to be more proactive in terms of developing our Muslim society. One of the ulamas in Indonesia named Ahmad Dahlan. Ahmad Dahlan built up found an Islamic organization in Indonesia, which is considered to be one of the biggest Islamic organizations, named Muhammadiyah. In 1912, he looked at the situation of the Muslim society at that times, who are poor, who are uneducated, and at the same time, the missionaries of the Christianity were spreading their religion, they're Christians. The Kiai Ahmad Dahlan was ignited of doing the Amar Ma'ruf Nahi Munkar. But for Kiai Haji Ahmad Dahlan, the Amar Ma'ruf Nahi Munkar is perceived, with the two social engineering strategies, namely fight for and fight against. Amar Ma'ruf is fight for or struggling for developing a more justice Islamic society. And he called for people to pay attention to the Al-Ma'un theology. He said that according to the Al-Ma'un teaching, the Muslim who are doing prayer but at the same time neglecting the marginal society is not really doing a good prayer. So as a result, Ahmad Dahlan invite people to build up hospitals, education. I myself teach at Muhammadiyah University. This is one of the 100 university of Muhammadiyah under the Islamic principles. A lot of hospitals, a lot of schools, a lot of university, even thousands of schools, right? So that's just big examples of how we can actually manifest the Islamic principles in a kafah way in our social landscape. Ma'asyiral Muslimin rahimakumullah. The second important strategy that we have to take into account in developing our Islamic society is that we have to be more proactive. Means that we have to get rid of the spirit or the paradigm or the approach of victimization. Sometimes we consider ourselves as being a victim. We sometimes having hobby of designing the conspiracy theory if we cannot develop ourselves. This attitude has been actually criticized by Allah when he teaches us through the Al-Ashar Surah. And at that time, a group of people got together and they're boasting about their ancestors, their father, their mothers, how rich they were, how wealthy they were. But as a result, they get quarrel and the disintegration came up. And finally, they blame the situations, the external situations. And Allah told that actually, if we are in a stagnant condition, actually these are our mistakes, not our external mistake. So it is very important from the Al-Ashar Surah that we have to be more proactive, we have to be responsible of our developing our own Islamic society in proactive way. Inna Allah la yughayyiru ma bi qawmin hatta yughayyiru ma bi anfusihim. Allah will not change the condition of people unless they change the condition within themselves. So within themselves is something internal. Our attitude, the values that we embrace from the Islamic tenets or Islamic principle. The third strategy, we have to be proud of being Muslim. Sometimes in the middle of the globalization era, we just grab everything from Western countries. So the dhikr of the young people is the West is the best. We just grab the fashion, the food, and the fun, as well as the ideology without digesting it according to the Islamic principle. So consequently, we could not get rid of putting the Quran or regarding the Quran as the way of life. Regarding the Quran as the what is so-called the worldview. Professor Alatas from Islamic University of Malaysia, for example, criticized of how Islamic education now just grab everything from the West, everything from the Western countries, without digesting it according to the Quran. So we are colonized epistemologically. We use the Western epistemology in every aspect of life. So I think it's time for us to wake up. But pride is not enough. Pride is not enough. Most importantly, we have to use the Quran as our way of life. And we cannot get rid of learning the Quran and use it for our light in every aspect of life. Allah criticized the Jews in the Quran. Masalul ladina humirut taurata summa lam yahmiluha ka masalil himar yahmilu asfaro. The Jews had been given a Torah, but they didn't really pay attention to the Torah. They didn't read the Torah, and they didn't implement and actualize the Torah. And Allah say that those people are like himar. It's like donkey. So it will happen to us. If we have a Quran, but we just put Quran in our bag and we don't read it, we don't manifest it in our political landscape, economical landscape, social landscape, we don't really give Quran a lot of attention, we don't use Quran as our worldview, we're going to be like himar. Allah criticizes those kind of people is like a donkey. They don't use they intellectual faculty, intellectual capacity based on the Holy Book. So, brothers and sisters, this Ramadan I think is a good starting point for us to really thinking of becoming a real Muslim, the successful Muslim in this world and the hereafter. And the research from the Dr. Askari I think can be a good reflection for us to be a better Muslim society now and in the future. Thank you for your attention, and wassalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
الله أكبر.